Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name's Trent. You're watching Trent's Exotic Life. In today's video, we're going to talk all about bearded dragons. As most of you know, I do have a juvenile bearded dragon. This is Stitch. Stitch currently is in a 20-gallon enclosure. I think a 20-gallon is perfect for any juvenile or baby. When I got Stitch, he was only the size of a finger, if that. Now he is definitely grown a lot more just in a couple months. But a 20-gallon long is perfect for a baby. Now, soon he'll need to be upgraded to a 40-gallon breeder, which is probably going to be in the next upcoming video. To get started with substrate, I do have the reptile carpet. Now, I do like it. It works out well. The only problem is, as you can see, whenever he poops, it leaves a disgusting stain. So whenever he gets upgraded into the 40-gallon breeder, he will be moved into having a tile substrate. Now into one of the more important parts, that is going to be the lighting. So over here on his left, I have just a normal basking. I believe it's a 75 watt. He can bask right there. And then over the top, I have a UVB light. That's going to help him kind of digest. It's great for his bones. And then I have a ceramic heat emitter. Now that is just because for my aquarium, it will fall below 70 degrees, while over here it's in the 90 to 100, so that way it will stay at 80 with the ceramic heat emitter, so he does have a little bit of a drop in temperature so he can thermoregulate. Now let's talk about the inside of his tank. As you can see right over here, he's enjoying a salad. He of course took a big piece. There's his salad dish, and then he has a water dish over there. Now, I do believe a water dish is helpful for some bearded dragons. For Stitch example, he uses it as a shedding tool, so it kind of helps him shed. But whenever I upgrade him into a bigger tank, he will no longer need a water dish anymore, because I'll kind of help him out with baths and stuff whenever he has stuck shed. Then he has a couple little areas for him to climb on. He has a humidity gauge down below, and then up at top. This kind of helps me read the humidity throughout the entire tank. Then in his green dish, that's just going to help keep the roaches inside because I do feed him dubia roaches. And he got his nice little basking area. And then over here, I gave him room because he does like to sleep over there. Don't know why, he just does enjoy it. And then I have a little temperature probe that kind of helps me read the temperature throughout the tank. So let's go on to the next part. Alright, and then the diet and nutrition for the bearded dragons. To start off, a juvenile, which is what Stitch is, he's going to need 80% protein and 20% plant-based. So that 20% is going to be his salad, which I'll get into in a moment. Now for his protein, a bearded dragon is going to need, I think dubia roaches are a great staple protein. I feed him that mostly. Occasionally I will feed him crickets and superworms. The only reason why I don't feed crickets and superworms on a regular is because crickets have the chance of biting your bearded dragon, and you don't want that. And then superworms, they are high in fat, so it's not very good for them. Now for their salad, they will need some type of green, so I use collard greens, but you can use mustard greens. That's another great replacement. And then for the top, I use bell peppers. Right now I have an orange one. You can use red, yellow, whatever. And then squash is another great one that I like to use. You can also use blueberries as an occasional treat. Stitch doesn't like them, so I don't really bother with them. And then as an adult, a bearded dragon will need the exact opposite, where it's 80% plant-based and 20% protein. So right now Stitch eats a giant bowl of bugs, and then he'll eat the salad whenever he wants. But whenever he becomes an adult, he'll only have a couple bugs here and there, and then a giant bowl of salad that he'll eat every day. Bearded dragons are great with kids. As you can see, Stitch is with my little 6-year-old sister. He just sits up on her shoulder, no problem. Now, bearded dragons, you do want to be careful whenever you are letting your kids hold them. But as you can see, Mia is doing great with him, and he does not mind one bit. Bearded dragons are a great beginner pet. I'm quickly just going to go over everything I just told you earlier in the video. For starters, you definitely want to have a basking area. With that, it needs to be about 90 to 100 degrees. And then you want to have a cooler end so they can thermoregulate, and that's going to be no lower than 70 degrees. You need to have at least a 10-degree drop, so I advise having it at 80 degrees, which is where mine is at right now. On the cool end, you want to have a salad dish, because even juveniles will have some salad, but the adults, that's where it's the most important for them to have a salad dish, because they will have that daily. Also, if you want a water dish, you can have it. It's not necessary. They will get most of their water from either the salad or the roaches that you feed them, or crickets, whatever you decide to feed them. And then if you think they might be dehydrated, then you start adding water to their head and he will drink it from there. From there, you want somewhere in the aquarium where they can cut their nails. Now, not literally cut them with nail clippers like me or Mia will use. You're going to need something where they can kind of run on and their nails will file themselves down. For heating, as you can see kind of right there, that's going to be where the basking area is at. And then you want to have a UVB/UVA bulb, which is where my black long one is, but it provides the blue light. And then for my tank, I needed a ceramic heat emitter to keep it at 80 degrees. That might not be necessary for you. Also, in your bearded dragon enclosure, you'll need somewhere to put the food. I do not advise feeding crickets, and I do not advise feeding superworms. I advise feeding dubia roaches because they are the most nutritious, but they can climb out of most dishes. So what I did was I used a little green dish I found on Amazon for like $4. It works perfectly. You will need a 20-gallon for a juvenile or baby, which is what Stitch is. And then when they become older, you only need a 40-gallon. But bearded dragons prefer more walking space. Sorry, he's climbing all over. Prefer more walking space than they do climbing space, because bearded dragons don't normally climb in the wild. You want to make sure you get good enrichment, so try to handle your bearded dragon at least once a day. I hold Stitch every morning, every time during lunch, and every day during dinner, just to kind of get him out of his tank and so he can get moving around. Keeping a bearded dragon is not going to be cheap, but he is a great beginner pet. To start off, to get a 20-gallon tank for a baby is going to be about $20 used. Now, for an adult, you will need a 40-gallon breeder, and those can be upwards of $200. I got lucky, and the one I'm getting for my snake was only $20, and you can find a deal like that. You just have to be on the lookout. Secondly, for the decor, you will need a basking area, which is over there. His, I believe, was $15 from the store, and the little log, I believe, was like $8 or $9. His food dish, like I said earlier, was $5. He's got another little log he climbs on. I believe that was $10. The humidity gauge at the bottom was, I believe, $5 from, I got it from Target. And there's a humidity gauge up top that was $10 from the pet store. For his water and salad dish, I got it on Amazon. I believe it was another $10. And then this temperature gauge is not really useful. It doesn't work out well, so I wouldn't advise those. But he does have a thermostat temperature gauge. It's going to be over there. That's going to be another $10, $15. And then for the lights, you will need a bulb for the ceramic heat emitter, which is going to be, I got mine from Walmart for $10. And then you will need a dome, which are usually about $15. And then for the UVB light, you will need a bulb and something to hold it in, so another dome. And that's going to be a total of probably $50 to $70. And then you're going to need a basking light, which is going to be about $30, and then a dome to hold that, that's going to be another $15. So this is before you even buy the bearded dragon. I didn't even talk about substrate because it's all different. My substrate, I got a Repta carpet, which is about $10, $15, but you're going to have to do your own research, figure out what suits you best. For his food, he gets dubia roaches daily. Now, to get a shipment in, they are for $500. I believe mine were $70, and that will last him about a month. For his salad, he gets a big bag of collard greens and then one bell pepper, and that will last him a couple weeks. And the big bag of collard greens is
$5, and then the bell pepper is about $1. And then for this little guy, you can find them anywhere from $50 to $100 to $10 to $20. I got him for $50 at a pet store. So that's pretty much it. You will need some vitamins and calcium. I really only use some calcium supplements, and he gets that once a week. That's about $5 on Amazon, and it's pretty cheap. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions at all, please do not be afraid to comment them down below. Also, I'm not a professional, so I do advise you to do your own research, watch as many videos as you can, do as much online research, join some Facebook groups, talk to real professionals. You want to make sure that this animal is in the best care it can possibly be in. But thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good day.